Welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for being with us today. We're broadcasting live from Park City, Utah. And Stewart, you're in, I forget now.
Round Rock, Texas, outside Boston.
Outside of Boston. Again, thank you for joining. I see a lot of my friends RSVP today, and we're certainly delighted to have you. This will be the second in a series of having Stewart as our guest. And again, I want to thank everybody in the Family Office Insights community of joining in and spending a little time with us today. If during or after your time with us today, you feel that there are others in your community that would be, it would be helpful for them to hear what you've heard, we'll be recording this, but also we'll be putting you in direct contact with Stewart so you can talk to him directly about a potential investment in Tier 1. And of course, discover anything you need to discover to do that. So the discussion we had last time was just truly fascinating. And I want to thank Tim for referring us in and bringing this to the attention of the Family Office Insights investor community. We're going to be recording this, as I say, we're going to be posting it to the Family Office Insights YouTube channel, and then perhaps at Tier 1's website, so you can view it there as well. So with that, thank you again for being here. Stewart, welcome once again. Thank you for spending some time with us today and sharing this just fascinating graphene innovation story. Take it away. Thank you, Stewart.
Thank you very much for having us again, Arthur. It's an honor to be here. As Arthur mentioned, my name's Stewart Skomra. I have the privilege of presenting you with an opportunity to join us at the forefront of a material science innovation. At Tier 1, we're spearheading the graphene revolution, leveraging this wonder material and its unparalleled potential for a greener and ever more efficient future. Today, from investors, we're seeking $30 million to scale our operations and solidify our leadership. And we invite you to join us in this venture as we drive and ride the wave of breakthrough graphene applications. Graphene was discovered 20 years ago, fairly recent. It's a material that is, set to revolutionize most everything humanity has ever made or will ever make. That's a pretty profound statement. So imagine a material that's 200 times stronger than steel, yet incredibly lightweight. Graphene's extraordinary strength can transform metal alloys, composite materials, enhancing the durability and efficiency of products. It has 10 times the thermal conductivity of copper, and graphene can improve both the heating and the cooling capabilities of products. Most impressive, it has over 1,000 times the electrical conductivity of copper. So graphene enables dramatic improvements in electrical and electronic applications across the board. Now, if it can affect everything that humanity has ever designed or will design, how will that affect industries? Well, we have a prioritized list here, my preferred priority. If everything that humanity has ever made or ever will make is redesigned, it's an enormous undertaking, so let's break it down. Where it's been applied first and most effectively is in the area of construction. Graphene promises stronger, lighter, sustainable materials. Graphene revolutionizes energy storage. You think about it, that high electrical conductivity with low thermal, with low heat being generated is very complementary. It enhances solar panels, wind turbines, One of the most impressive features about graphene is that it's impermeable. You can't put the smallest atom through the matrix of graphene. Graphene is a single layer of carbon atoms, one atom thick, all arranged in a beautiful hexagonal composition. And you cannot fit, the smallest atom through that matrix. So the applications in air and water filtration systems are tremendous. Aerospace and automotive will benefit immensely, with graphene enabling more robust, efficient, and lighter weight solutions. The list goes on, and it's limited only by the imagination. The problem? These industries have all been waiting for a scalable, affordable, high-quality graphene production process. The future is being held hostage by a challenge that Tier 1 is dedicated to overcoming. Tier 1 has the solution through a patented, carbon-negative, cost-effective production process delivering quality graphene at scale. All of these applications have been held up because it's too expensive. All other approaches cost too much money, too much time, and are too detrimental to our environment to produce enough of this material to enjoy all of its benefits. Our process begins with biochar, transforming it into a valuable carbon sequestered material, green graphene that's trademarked Bioseen. What sets this approach apart is its in the environmental benefit and its economic benefit. The simplicity of our process enables recovery of the capital investment to produce a Bioseen reactor system within the very first year of operation. The process enables us to supply bulk graphene to the world to serve the green construction market advancements, and also to develop the innovations for the breakthroughs in energy storage that are so badly needed in our sustainable future. Tier 1 holds the rights to produce Bioseen for any application and holds a worldwide exclusive license to use Bioseen in the field of energy, aligning Tier 1 at the intersection of ecological responsibility and industrial innovation to set a new standard in sustainable applied material science. As we look at Tier 1's current traction, our revenue streams are diverse and robust, stemming from three key areas. First, there's the bulk Bioseen. It's material that the marketplace has a tremendous demand for, and other than Tier 1, there are few, if any, sources of supply. So bulk Bioseen, our premium graphene product, at a market price of $200 per kilogram, Tier 1 will be producing over $4 million of Bioseen per day within 6 months of raising this investment round. Second, our green construction materials, CMIX, green rebar or hurricane bar, and Permastrong are making significant inroads. We have over $12 million in construction projects lined up in Puerto Rico now. Moreover, in exploring the much broader green construction materials marketplace, we've identified over $8 billion in projects serving initiatives in Saudi Arabia and Mexico alone, confirming the global demand for these sustainable building materials. Lastly, through our strategic customer relationships driven by our Tier 1 leadership team, we have confirmed over $22 billion in battery energy storage system pipeline in the US alone. In the near term, because all of these products, the vast majority of all of these renewable energy products are currently manufactured in Asia, predominantly in China. In the near term, we'll serve this market, reselling the industry-leading technology through supply chain partnerships we've uniquely cultivated over the last 3 years. These relationships enable us to serve current customer demand while paving the way for our own Tier 1 Bioscene battery energy storage system offerings in the year 2026 and beyond. These revenue streams highlight Tier 1's strong market presence and our strategy to capitalize on growing demand for graphene and sustainable materials across various industries. Tier 1 enabled products in the green construction space, have the greatest immediate impact. The green construction materials market is projected to grow from $422 billion in 2023 to over $950 billion by the year 2030. CMIX, a patented graphene-enhanced concrete admixture, is revolutionizing the industry, delivering stronger, lighter, faster-setting concrete solution that works with brackish and salt water. Perfected over a decade in the extremely demanding environments of South Florida, CMIX reduces carbon dioxide by reducing the need for Portland cement, as well as turning the CMIX contract into a CO2 absorber. The green rebar, or hurricane bar, is made from basalt fiber reinforced polymer, or BFRP. It's redefining construction standards. It's stronger and lighter than steel, significantly cuts down on transportation and labor costs, and eliminates the need, very important, eliminates the need for corrosion preventative coatings. The patented PermaStrong building system, integrated with CMIX and hurricane bar, reduces material and labor costs by up to 50%. Enabling the efficient construction of durable, custom-designed structures that are resistant to natural disasters. These groundbreaking products position Tier 1 at the forefront of sustainable construction, aligning with the global shift toward eco-friendly building practices. Let's take a closer look at energy storage. Energy storage is vital for the future, and Tier 1 is seizing this growing opportunity. By the year 2050, the U.S. grid energy storage is projected to increase 500 times over what currently is in place. Today, battery energy storage is dominated by lithium iron phosphate, battery supplied by China. Over the course of that period of time, the 500-fold increase in energy storage, over $12 billion of material opportunity in the US alone would be driven to China and China-based suppliers. All of that opportunity is available to Tier 1, graphene-enabled energy storage technologies. By 2025, we expect a seismic shift with Tier 1's graphene-based energy storage solutions beginning to replace the lithium iron phosphate materials, marking the first major inroad of graphene in this critical energy storage space. Tier 1 strategically positioned to supply bulk Bioscene graphene to energy storage OEMs, while concurrently developing our own range of cutting-edge Bioscene-enabled battery cells, supercapacitors, and battery energy storage systems. Our dual approach ensures we cater to the immediate market demand while shaping the future of energy storage technology. Let's look at the features.
Stu, would it be okay to take a quick question back on the Bioscene
Certainly.
rights, meaning does the Bioscene there's two questions. Does Bioscene restack to 10 to 15 layers as the majority of the graphene products in the market do, or is it able to maintain stability, the one-layer structure over time?
The nanoplatelets that we are delivering today are 1 to 3 layer nanoplatelets.
Okay, so somebody knows what, thank you, Lena, knows what they're talking about a little bit, right?
Yes, they do. And we're harvesting this graphene, from biochar, derived from biomass. And so there's a difference between producing it or harvesting it from somewhat directly from nature versus synthesizing it. And so synthesizing or creating graphene will be the next step in our R&D evolution.
Got it. And as far as the bioscene is a licensing right. You're licensing the technology from
The inventor.
the inventor.
Correct.
And the inventor is it Rubio or is it another?
Yeah, the inventor is our chief innovation officer, Ray Rubio. He's the gentleman who spent the 15 years working to perfect the production and a suite of applications of graphene. And as I mentioned in our separate conversation, Ray recently built a custom townhome operating completely off the grid down in Miami. And he went to great efforts to use graphene, use these nanomaterials in every aspect that he could imagine within that townhome. Not only is it operating completely off the grid, and with a modest set of solar panels, it's it's operating 24/7. Air conditioning, lighting throughout three stories, flash hot water tank. So every thing that you can imagine wanting in the latest convenience for an electrical modern home, and running completely off the grid at the moment.
And the storage of that power is essentially in the walls?
Oh, yes. Thank you for mentioning that. What Ray did, he's a power electronics, a power electrical engineer who's done an extraordinary amount of work in civil engineering, perfecting the construction materials. He began the graphene journey because of its potential in electrical and electronic applications. And so two of the applications, actually, I should say three of the applications that he proved out, in that custom townhome are number one, he infused graphene into the paint, okay, for the walls. And what that did was it actually it increased the shielding, the electromagnetic shielding of the wall. So for those of you familiar with electromagnetic energy and comments such as a Faraday cage, where you could actually prevent something from having any electromagnetic energy imposed upon it, Ray Rubio built effectively a Faraday cage-like operation for his townhome, keeping external unwanted electromagnetic energy from making it into the home. And if you have the electromagnetic energy such as Wi-Fi or wireless technologies within your home, it will actually enable them to perform better. The second application in the energy world that Ray perfected was he built pouch prismatic battery cells. And so these cells used graphene, copper, aluminum, and calcium. Notice that I didn't say cobalt, and I didn't say lithium. And so what he was able to do in building these prismatic pouch configuration cells was to create double the energy density of today's best lithium iron phosphate technology without the use of lithium, not having the thermal runaway and the zero voltage risks that lithium technology has, not having the cycle and recycling challenges that today's lithium technology has. While Ray was producing those battery cells to use as energy storage in a module tied to the townhome, he devised and designed and built a energy storage cell on the surface of an 88-foot by 25-foot wall. So one of the three-story walls what he did was he actually constructed what he and I have discussed is very likely an electrostatic or a supercapacitor type of energy storage method. And that the energy that is in the surface of that wall is used to operate, all of the appliances within the home, all of the lighting in the home, when there is no sun. And so he has both a module-based battery energy storage system and energy storage in the surface of the wall. And what Ray and I are working on immediately, after this funding, is going to be combining the excellence of the Permastrong building system with the ability to have CMIX energy storage, electrolytic ion exchange, so that we will literally be able to build energy storage into the concrete-filled, hurricane-proof and earthquake-proof home walls.
Sci-fi. Fascinating. Is this technology iocene patented, or is it considered something
Trade
other?
secret?
Trade secret?
Yeah, there's a broad base of intellectual property, three cornerstone patents, and then trade secrets that complement the patents. There's the patent on the CMIX admixture itself, a patent on the biocene production process, which was really the major breakthrough to make affordable and ecologically friendly graphene production possible. And then most recently, a extraordinary invention, which is the use of the biocene in the area of air filtration. And so it's a very, very important breakthrough. And that's why we set that as a high category priority for our vertical focus following the energy storage emphasis.
Yeah, super helpful. One more quick question, then we'll proceed. Are the orders that you mentioned earlier orders just waiting for you to produce? Are they hard orders? Are they, what's the nature of the orders for the biocene?
Yeah, the bulk biocene, we don't have standing orders for the bulk biocene. The orders, because we've been focused on the construction, green construction applications, and on the battery energy storage. The battery energy storage identified pipeline, from the customers we're closely working with, that $22 billion in battery energy storage systems alone. And, that business will flow over the next 6 to 7 years. If you're familiar with the solar industry, the way that those projects evolve is you have a project developer who takes the lead and works the project to a point where an interconnection agreement can be established, control over the land and the construction rights, and then an agreement on the financing, so that you have a NTP, a notice to proceed. So every one of these projects is in line for interconnections. They have their financing. They're working towards their notice to proceed. As soon as they receive the notice to proceed, then they will issue deposits to Tier 1 for the energy storage portion. And then it'll take anywhere from 90 to 120 days for that product to arrive, and will allow another 45 to 60 days for commissioning. And so there's a period of about 6-month revenue recognition from the point where we would receive a deposit. So all of them, the very first one of these energy storage projects are beginning to move this quarter. And so our very first revenues in the reselling of the energy storage, we anticipate recognizing by the end of March. In the area of the Permastrong construction system and the $12 million in projects there in Puerto Rico specifically, each one of those takes a similar sort of path, where you have to have a developer who receives the approval, the property rights, the interconnect agreements, and the financing. And once they've achieved that, then the initial deposits for ordering of the material and the production and delivery of the material can take place. So I just executed a letter of intent last week on one of these. Roughly, it'll be a $5 million project. It'll net $5 million, which is a nice number. And so it's by the end of the first quarter, middle of the second quarter is when we'll have that cash come in.
And you obviously have to build the manufacturing facility, right?
The manufacturing facility, part of the use of funds that I'll go through is we have Ray Rubio has an existing manufacturing facility that will produce about 5,000 kilograms of graphene per day. It also has to be repurposed, a lot of the same equipment and space to produce the C-mix admixture. And so what we're doing is we're going to be increasing that capacity fivefold. So we'll take it from 5,000 kilograms of graphene production per day to 25,000 of graphene production, and we'll complement that with the C-mix and the other production. And so when I say that we'll be in a position to produce over $4 million in bulk graphene per day, it's with that fivefold expansion that's going to be funded from this $30 million investment round.
Great. Yeah, thank you for answering those questions. Okay,
you're very welcome.
Thank you. Carry on.
I'll just comment quickly on, so that if people are not aware of the energy storage needs in the United States and around the world, we are perfecting renewable energy source power generation, wind turbines, photovoltaics. The challenge is that they're intermittent, and also the challenge is, in many cases, the wind is blowing the best at the time when you may not need electricity. And so you need to have a storage medium, a place to store that. And that's why there's such an enormous demand for battery energy storage. In the United States and around the world, my estimates are we underestimated the demand. Humanity did by probably a factor of 5. And so you have a tremendous amount of economic incentive going in at the federal level, at the state level, at the local levels to establish battery manufacturing and battery energy storage production capacity, in the United States. Not just because, we don't want to give all the business to China. The reality is China is going to be busy building all of its capacity for its needs. It has even greater renewable energy storage demands than we do. And so we have to have a very concerted effort to stand up the manufacturing of domestic, U.S. manufactured battery energy storage cells and systems to satisfy the demand that we have. As I mentioned earlier, it'll increase 500 times to the point where we are 100% sustainable. So we expect the impact of graphene and energy storage to be so profound, predominantly because the energy density, the number of times you can charge it and discharge it, 5 times greater. Both of them are 5 times greater than the other technologies that the world is betting on. Much greater discharge capacity You can discharge a graphene, calcium, or graphene sodium energy storage system 100% without the threat of a fire or an explosion, a thermal runaway that you may encounter with lithium. So this means Tier 1 can deliver energy storage that's 5 times larger, lasts 5 times longer. It's much faster than the very best that the market has to offer today. And because of the extraordinary electrical and thermal conductivity of graphene, the energy storage system itself consumes less energy. And they do not require the complex environmental control and fire suppression systems. Imagine having a massive, affordable, long-lasting energy storage solution at affordable prices. We see Tier 1 Bioseen driving both technological and market disruptions, setting new standards in energy storage, prioritizing performance, safety, and efficiency. Sales and marketing. So when I get to the use of funds, here's what I'm going to be referring to. We're selling on 3 fronts. Green construction, tremendous impact in construction. You can have a better quality product in less time for less cost. Okay, it's a wonderful virtuous cycle that it creates. We're driving sales through these 3 avenues. The construction combination of CMix plus the Hurricane Bar and Permastrong, and our energy storage partnerships, advanced Tier 1 Bioseen battery energy storage systems, and the vital bulk graphene sales. Our marketing strategy, we're at the very beginning of this enormous transformation across industries. So at the very outset, we're going to be focusing on educating the marketplace. We've had over 36 CMix success stories. We'll be creating video customer case studies. We'll be leveraging artificial intelligence, both to reach the members in the focus communities that we know will want to learn about the benefits of the technology and how to employ it, and also to teach those communities through intelligent agents that are taught by our subject matter experts. Let's take a look at competition. At this point, because up until Tier 1, you don't have anyone who has actually been able to produce quality graphene at scale that's affordable. And so the competition is really about the production process. And so our Bioseen graphene excels in this competitive market with unmatched scalability and affordability. It can produce a lot economically. Our production prioritizes environmental and safety standards. You don't have any caustic chemicals. The sophistication, the high-end chemistry that we're dealing with is actually vinegar. Okay, we offer a sustainable and simplified solution without sacrificing quality. We look at the different techniques that are out there, then people are spending millions of dollars, millions of man-years trying to solve these problems. Mechanical exfoliation, how graphene was discovered. It does produce quality graphene, it's just not very scalable. The higher energy approaches, silicon carbide epitaxial growth and chemical vapor deposition, these do offer quality approaches for synthesizing, creating graphene, but at high cost, high environmental impact. Graphite oxide chemical reduction presents mixed results, while detonation processes face challenges in scale and also environmental safety. So Tier 1 Bioseen, in contrast, has overcome these common hurdles, leading the way in scalable, affordable, environmentally friendly graphene production. We will set new benchmarks for the industries, firmly establishing Tier 1 as the preferred choice in graphene production, and we're only getting started. We know that we are harvesting graphene. We're harvesting graphene from biochar. We're harvesting graphene from graphite, okay? So just as we are forward integrating our graphene applications into each one of these vertical markets, we're going to great efforts to backward integrate, into the production process, into the biomass process. By taking on responsibility for converting biomass to biochar, it's an exothermic process. It will actually power the entire system itself, making it even more of a virtuous green cycle. And further still, as I mentioned earlier, we will be focusing our efforts into the synthesis of graphene to figure out, how is it that Mother Nature makes this wonderful material, and how can we do that equally as well, if not better?
Stuart, since we're on the competition page, we have a competition question. May I share it with you?
Certainly.
How does the quality, scalability, stability, and business maturity compare to Nanotech's graphene?
Nanotech graphene in particular, I think we're talking about a detonation process. And so the nanotech approach is really focused on synthesis, whereas ours is focused on production, producing the graphene, from the natural materials. And so they're two different and complementary approaches. I like the detonation process itself, and I could see that that we could be partnering with that company, joining forces, because we all have to solve this problem. We have to make this material available in ample quantities and consistent quality at reasonable costs for humanity to enjoy all of its benefits.
Yep, totally makes sense. So if in fact it's detonation process, then the question about scalability, affordability, and so forth is articulated in that last column. Okay, that's super helpful.
Correct. That's why I place them at medium. You can scale. It's a scale of the sourcing of the gases and the transportation logistics on the gases. It can be the reason why I place ours, at higher on scalability and affordability, is I can move back to biomass, and through a deoxygenation, right, removing the oxygen, the hydrogen, right, from the biomass itself, produce biochar directly, and so I can scale very, very nicely, and I'm working with natural matter, plant matter, the finest feedstock that to date that we found in producing biochar to produce a high quality graphene happens to be coconut shells, industrial hemp, and pineapple, and so selecting the right feedstocks is what the art is all about if you're working to produce biochar to then harvest graphene. In the case of the synthesis processes like chemical vapor deposition or the detonation processes, I really want to get working in that area soon because I think there's some tremendous synergies that can be gained in the products resulting from the synthesis of the graphene itself.
Fascinating. Thank you.
Let me tell you a little bit about how we got here. The team, the story starts with a young residential developer, younger than me, Ryan Doherty, ran into the obstacle on a 640-acre property that he bought, subdivided, and began to plan to develop a community. And what he learned was that the electrical utility service to that development would take 18 months and $2 million per mile. And so rather than just abandon the vision and the aspiration entirely, he said, let me find a way to enable the energy to be generated at the edge, at the point where it will be used. And then so let me create some independence on the part of the homeowner for their energy future. Ryan is a natural networker. He's capable of finding people of every talent and type, set him to task on it. What he did was he connected with Bob Fisher, an American working in Asia, on the ground in Shenzhen, working with all of the top contract manufacturers in China's lithium energy storage and energy generation systems. And what Bob has done over his career is establish trust. He's built trust and mutual respect with key supply relationships in China. Ryan networked further to reach William Huber, a salesman who leads tier 1 sales. He brings a discipline, professionalism, and poised to industry-changing engagements. So William had worked prior to tier 1 in nanotechnology with Ray Rubio, has invested over 25 years in advancing composites and carbon materials, with a specific focus these past 15 years on graphene and graphene applications. So Ray has developed myriad applications I mentioned earlier, including that custom-built townhome. Creating the patented C-mix admixture, which is a industry-changing innovation for construction, was a collaborative process working with Jared Dargenio and many construction projects and companies. Jared leads the hands-on in the field work with construction companies, onboarding their teams to green construction. We're honored to have Major General Paul Kennedy leading public service activities. Paul has been working with Ray and Jared, introducing the U.S. government and military to the green construction technologies, and is highly respected in the public sector. Dr. Michael Mohar, our chief scientist, spearheads technology harvesting and research, collaborating with the U.S. Department of Energy and national labs. A key focus Dr. Mohar and I have discussed is his leadership in helping Tier 1 to capitalize on what I consider to be an overwhelming abundance of sustainability inventions and innovations at both our national labs and at our higher education institutions. Wayne Hegwood, the CFO, he brings with him 3 decades of expertise in finance, specializing in elevating cash flow and profitability for mid-sized firms. He spent many years in the most difficult and highly regulated industries, including healthcare. So he's a very, very strong asset for our team. Justin Reynolds, our Chief Technology Officer, he introduced me to the renewable energy industry 3 years ago, when he worked with me on applications of numerical optimization for energy generation, storage, and distribution. So when Ryan invited me to join Team Tier 1, I reached out to Justin, and Justin has brought with him decades of relationships, knowledge, and experience that we've only begun to tap. Greg Boyd, our VP of Nanomaterials, is a scientist, engineer, serial entrepreneur with multiple startup successes in software and green technologies. Greg told me that if we were going to be doing anything in the realm of graphene, that we count him in, and that he needed to introduce Dr. Gregory Carmichael. So Dr. Carmichael, Greg, is Greg Boyd, in my opinion, the closest you may come to a real-life Tony Stark, right? An F-16 pilot who operates at the intersection of finance and applied sciences. He's relied on for numerous industry initiatives, from cryptocurrencies and artificial intelligence to applications of advanced material sciences. Jason Fowler, Chief Strategy Officer. Jason was introduced to Tier 1 because of work he's doing in a non-carbon catalytic steam turbine generator, okay? His work in steel along with aluminum and myriad alloys, is extraordinarily expansive. To me, Jason will be central to transforming the steel industry into a green sector. Thanos Smith, Chief Visionary. To me, one could not ask for a more demanding customer. And in the products that I've worked on over the last 40 years, some of you may be familiar with them, such as Wi-Fi, involvement directly with the Amazon Kindle, some of the things that you do with smartphones today. I've always had someone that was a visionary, a customer who could set a very high bar for us to stretch, to reach, their aspirations. As the founder, CEO, and chief visionary officer of Paragon Universe and its companies, Thanos is setting tier 1 stretch goals for advancements from energy through material sciences, from terrestrial to aerial transportation, and all of the automation that it demands. And myself, I'm humbled and honored to be working with this team of entrepreneurs, building the future that we can all enjoy. So how will we put $30 million to work? We've allocated this to fuel our expansion and innovation. And here's how we plan to invest it. $2 million secures the Bioscene intellectual property, protecting the heart of our technological edge, the eco-friendly Bioscene graphene production process. Another $2 million for green construction product development, extending our lead in groundbreaking sustaining materials that will redefine the construction industry. Another $2 million is committed for the energy storage business unit product development to begin commercializing those batteries that Ray already manufactured and that operate 24/7, his custom townhome in Coral Gables. We've already proven that technology to surpass the performance of today's lithium iron phosphate offerings. We're investing $3 million to acquire Permastrong, integrating its patented building system and its customer project pipeline to profitably bolster our green construction offerings. To power our market presence, we've allocated $4 million towards marketing, sales, and operations, ensuring that Tier 1's innovations reach the global stage effectively and efficiently. We're setting aside working capital for green construction business unit, $5 million that will create a cash generation machine as each one of those development projects reaches its notice to proceed. Materials are ordered, shipped, production takes place, and we receive the revenues from those. Similarly, in the energy storage business unit, another $5 million in working capital that supports similar advancement of our development project partners so that we can begin to start realizing that $22+ billion of identified battery energy storage demand revenues. Our largest investment is to scale the current 5 metric tons of Bioscene production to over 25 tons per day through a $7 million investment in a Puerto Rico Bioscene production facility. We're taking an existing pharmaceutical facility that has much of the equipment and much of the configuration and setup that's needed to produce high quality, cost-effective nanomaterials, and using that to our advantage. So each dollar is an investment in sustainable innovation and growth, driving Tier 1 toward a greener future powered by advanced green graphene technology. What does the future look like? I'm very focused on the immediate 18 months. Okay. So we've set ambitious yet attainable goals. Our first 18 months, spanning 2024 to 2025, we're projecting over $100 million in earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization. And this is on working against the current deal pipeline that we have in place. It'll be fueled by the Puerto Rico bulk Bioscene production, which alone we anticipate generating close to $40 million in EBITDA. Our green construction business unit is set to contribute $25 million, while the energy storage business unit is forecasted to bring in $50 million in the reselling of the existing industry-accepted, industry-leading China lithium iron phosphate technology. During that period of 18 to 24 months, we will be developing these advancements in the Permastrong building system, for example, advancements in the hurricane bar, and commercialization of the graphene battery cells and energy storage systems. So beginning in 2026, actually the fourth quarter of 2025, we'll start to deliver the first graphene U.S. engineered, U.S. manufactured, serviced, and supplied energy storage systems with twice the energy density of the lithium technology at a lower cost. We're planning at this moment a minimum of 6 manufacturing facilities across the U.S., with proposals currently in progress with the Department of Energy and the Department of Agriculture. Our production of Tier 1 Biosine battery energy storage systems will scale significantly to meet the growing demands of the market. Additionally, we will broaden our horizons, adding new business units to our anticipating significant demand in composites and alloys, and in the automotive and the aerospace sector. Each of these will target specific market needs, leveraging the unique properties of Biosine graphene to drive innovation and growth in their respective industries. Our outlook is about strategically positioning growth at the vanguard of the graphene revolution across multiple sectors. Our future is as expansive and dynamic as the applications of graphene itself. In summary, Tier 1 stands, as I mentioned, as a vanguard, not a member of it, but I consider it to be a vanguard, in the graphene revolution. We're innovating with Biosine, a patented eco-friendly graphene, demonstrating our commitment to green construction and energy storage. Our unique advantages lie in our ability to produce graphene at scale, cost-effectively and sustainably. We're already leading the way with sustainable construction solutions the market is eager to adopt. In energy storage, our innovation with graphene performance is setting new standards for energy density and safety. By investing in Tier 1, you're becoming a part of the next wave of sustainable technology. You're fostering the growth of green infrastructure and renewable energy services, defining our future. And you're seizing the opportunity presented by the rapidly expanding graphene market, where Tier 1 has strategically positioned itself. Join us at Tier 1 and invest in a future where innovation, sustainability, and strategic market insight converge.
Nice, Stewart. So
Thank
one of
you.
the things we talked about, thank you, last time is the challenges that you've met to get the regulators to approve building materials. Can we talk a little bit about that?
Well, the nice thing about construction is construction has regional aspects, state level aspects. It has industry organizations, and it has federal level standards. And each one of those individual developers, that Ray Rubio, Jared Dargenio have been working with, is a member or adjacent to or connected to those organizations. And so you end up with, news traveling fast. And so you want it to be good news. Unfortunately, everything that Ray and team have done in the construction industry has proven the science out. And what they've done, they've gone to great effort, working directly with some of the best minds in the construction industry, particularly in Miami-Dade County and in University of Miami, and keeping them involved all along the way. And so they've created a very, very good group of supporting professionals in academia as well as in the construction industry itself. As I mentioned in an earlier conversation, and this wonderful thing about, the United States of America is states' rights and regional authority. And so, you do need to work and you do need to win over in each one of these domains. And so there's been an extensive amount of work that's been done in the Caribbean, in Puerto Rico, in the Bahamas, down in South America and Colombia, in Miami. And so there's great receptivity in that area, and getting this seal of approval, from, Miami-Dade for hurricane, withstanding hurricanes, and the strength of the materials are big pluses. In parallel with that, on the Permastrong product offering, Permastrong pursued California, where you have both earthquake as well as fire, are high priority natural disasters, and have received certifications in those areas, and gold standard certifications from Home Guard reviews. So each one of the where we expect that the market will open up and receive the green construction approach and materials much more widely, will very likely be through the interstate freeway system. And so one of the things I admire Dwight Thanos Smith, our chief visionary officer, as he's taking on responsibility for the design and build, construction, and maintenance of next generation electric recharging and automatic de-icing highway interstate systems. And so that's when I mentioned that he sets a high bar. He sets a very good stretch goal for us. And so as soon as we start talking about 1,000 miles, upwards in the amounts of 10,000 miles of roadway, then you're cutting across many of these authority domains, and that should help us in getting people more comfortable with a new way of doing things.
Yeah, it's super impressive that you've been able to make such significant inroads from an approval process at this early stage. Clearly a function of the team that you have and their connectivity to those regulators, right?
Yeah, well, there's no overnight success, contrary to belief. Nothing I've worked on has ever taken anything less than 20 years. So I'm glad that Ray started working on this 15 years ago. That means 5 years, and we've got a very, very attractive 5-year financial plan in front of us. So I'm very excited with the team that we've assembled. We have one gentleman I met with yesterday, and he's very interested in joining the team. He's somewhat of a household name, and he wants to advocate for better income housing, right? Instead of low income housing and social housing and so on. He and I have discussed at length. If we can design a better product at a lower cost, there's no reason that a homeowner for a 1,200 square foot home shouldn't enjoy, all of the excellence, in their home that a homeowner for a 12,000 square foot home should enjoy. So one of the things coming from the high technology world and living in Moore's law, where we see accelerating exponential returns, I believe that we'll be bringing that sort of focus and that sort of advancement, to the residential development area by bringing more and more of these material sciences and the capabilities that they have to create many virtuous cycles.
Yeah, and there's no question there's demand for housing, that trend's probably not going to change all that much.
Right.
So exciting stuff. Thank you, Stewart, for doing this once again. And like I said, we'll make sure everybody gets in touch directly and they can dig a little deeper and see if they want to vote with their checkbook.
Absolutely.
But it's super, super interesting stuff. And the our next steps from our end is make sure we get you in touch with everybody and vice versa, post the recording, and then we'll do some follow-up with you. But I super appreciate you doing this. It's been fascinating.
Yep.
And
Fantastic.
wish you
Yeah,
the
anybody feel free to contact me directly. I'll take you through all the plans for those factories. I think what you're going to love, is what we're planning for these facilities. To bring, advancing the state of the art in ecological and economically responsible, production. And so happy to spend the time with interested investors, and I look forward to it.
Yeah, we super appreciate it. Thank you, Stewart, and thank you to everybody here that spent some time with us this afternoon. And as I always say, thank you for spending the only thing you can't make more of, and that's your time. We have one, hold on, we got somebody, let's not, since we got a minute. Oh, big thank you from Lena. Thank you, Lena. Great. All right, Stewart, I'll be in touch. Thank you
All
again.
right.
Take care.
Thank you, Arthur.
Bye-bye.
Bye.